Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is more traveling tips for single men. I talked about kind of the vehicle and a little bit of the types of clothes you might want to bring, but another thing you might want to do is make sure you're continually checking on your most important items, which are your car keys, your wallet, and your cell phone, right? If you have those, you're always going to be okay. It isn't like at home where you can, somehow get into your house and get your spare keys, or you can quickly go to the store and get a new phone if you lose yours or something. You have to keep track of this stuff, and it almost has to be an obsession where you're checking continually. So, like most of us have a nice phone with a camera, and then if you're on vacation, you're taking pictures. So you always have your phone with you to take pictures, even in the places where it would be catastrophic if you lost it, or there's no way for you to recover your phone if you drop it. Like I was up on some very high mountain hikes and taking pictures, and if you drop the phone, it's going to drop a few thousand feet. There's no way to recover it, right? So or sometimes let's say you're on a hike and you're getting exhausted, and you take a break, you sit down, and you finally get enough energy to get going again, and you get up and you walk a ways, and you finally think to reach, I don't feel like I have my phone or my wallet, and you check your pockets where you normally keep them and find out, it's missing. And then like on these hikes where you sat down, it isn't always obvious like where you could backtrack to get it. You might not be able to ever find it the same place, right? It's not gonna stick out. You gotta be, when you get up from sitting, check those. Make it a religious habit to check those 3 items. Always getting in and out of the car, that's a big one. When you're in the restroom, that's another big one. Checking your way out of the hotel room, or when you're leaving, a place, a campground or something. You want to have a ritual of all the things you check that you're most important, that you don't lose. On this trip, I overheard a few things. I overheard a girl say, "Well, I had my phone. I thought it was in my pocket." And we were on this trail. Of course, she lost her phone, right? Expensive phone up on the top of some mountain somewhere with no way to ever find it. Probably's got all kinds of nice photos on there of remembrance. Or maybe it's saved in the cloud, but what a hassle. What a hassle. You don't want all this hassle on your trip. You want it just to go smoothly. Smooth and easy. No hassle. It's getting adjusted here for the driving. Very good roads out here. Very smooth and nice. We're out in the west. Not all of them, but most of them. I was out went to some music the other night. It was in Texas, and I'm in Nebraska right now. In Texas, they had a nice band, and I was getting along good with a girl, and then at the end of the night, she was with her friend, and the friend fell apart because the friend had lost her credit card, right? Yikes. You don't want to do that either. The credit card, when you're traveling, is critical, right? You're putting everything on the plastic, and you'll pay for it later. Like what I'm going to do, like what I've been doing. So keep track of those important items. your stuff you put in your toiletry bag, you always need that, right? It's critical stuff to put yourself together, clean up along the way. The clothing, and everything, you always want to be thinking about you, because you don't have anybody, you're alone. You don't have anybody to help you look as a backup. If you're there with your wife, maybe she has the extra set of car keys and you dropped them, right? Or she has the wallet with the extra credit card, the purse with the extra credit card, or a friend, can help figure this out, or loan you the money, or put the rest of the trip on their credit card. But when you're by yourself, see, you're everything. You got to be double or triple your normal diligence. I was going to say, not the opposite of negligence is diligence. You want to be triply diligent on this, because you don't want your trip to be ruined with this kind of thing, and that will ruin your trip, no doubt. From a pleasant and relaxing, enjoyable, adventurous, exciting experience, it'll be this enormous headache that you're going to have a very, very, very difficult time dealing with to get home. Very difficult. So don't do that. What else for single men? Well, you want to be careful, right? You don't want to offend somebody unnecessarily. Like, I like to go out in the evening and check out the nightlife. Well, I'm not usually I don't offend people. That's not how I like to do things. But some people get offended even if you're not trying to offend them. So you got to be careful not to do that. You're not in your hometown. You don't know the customs and the joke around methods that people use in this strange place. You might have to tone yourself down, right? You don't have your friend over in the corner to help you out of a jam, right? It's you. It's you. You got to know your limits. I like to hike, and I wanted to go on this one hike, and it was up in the high country, hot and dry, and I was like already tired, and I was walked quite a ways, and then I saw where the walk was going to be way down, and I thought, well, I'm pretty good going down, but I'm not that great going up. And I thought, well, if I got to go down a lot now, how am I going to get back up? I didn't know enough about that trail. I didn't read about it. I didn't know if that's I thought it would be a fairly easy trail, but it looked to me like it was going to be just very, very difficult. So I just turned around and went back. I knew my limits. Now, I had a good hike, plenty of exercise, plenty of sun, and saw some sights. So it wasn't like I was disappointed. It was more like, I still got quite a bit of traveling to do. I don't want to get down in a place I can't get out of, right? Know your limits. Drinking, well, you want to know your limits on the drinking too, right? You don't want to get overly drunk and get yourself in trouble with the locals or the police, or get robbed because you're an easy target. You can party within your limits, not overly so. always looking out for your health and well-being, even more so than at home. The way you do all this, it sounds like a lot of work, right? That it's not relaxing. Well, what I do is I haven't watched one bit of TV. I haven't looked at Twitter. I haven't looked at YouTube. I haven't looked at any news websites on my phone. I've just been focusing on the trip, and I haven't done all those normal distractions that take up quite a bit of time in normal life. And I'm really enjoying the not doing that. I really, I do check in with my mother and my kids and send some texts to the friends, kind of, let's say, bragging about what I've been doing, how they're working, or the kids are working, or my mother's just mowing the lawn, or, sitting in the humid air. I'm telling them all these great experiences. That's my little bit of distraction, but normally I'm either driving someplace cool, or driving to get someplace, or checking in the hotel, or checking something out in a museum, or some kind of studying some kind of a overlook, or on a long hike, or strolling around the town, or going out for a meal, or going out on the town. I'm living. I call that living. It makes me happy to do all that on my vacation, so I do it. And not checking in with all the normal news and frankly trivial things about things that have nothing to do with me is very, very I think it's called, I'm trying to figure out a good word for it. It's very satisfying. It's very rewarding not to worry about the outside world when I'm just kind of focusing in on myself for this time. And I'm hoping that I can kind of keep this pattern up of just bringing that back. What do I want? What is good for me? What can I do for my closest people? How can I not worry so much about all these things I have no control over? Because when you're traveling by yourself, you have enormous control over what you're doing. You're deciding moment by moment what you're going to be doing. And this is kind of how you should be living your life all the time, is continually focusing on what you're doing and how you can make your life better and more abundant and more prosperous and more exciting and more enjoyable, more satisfying. And traveling is a way to do that. You're condensing tons of experiences into a shorter time frame, right? All the stuff that I've done in a little over a week, you can't do it in a normal life. You can't. You just don't. It isn't how things go. The things I'm seeing, this trip I've taken is like totally different than any other trip I've ever been in my life. So it's just totally new, total sensory, pleasant experiences. Now, there have been some unpleasant things along the way, but not terrible, just kind of annoying, but you have to expect that when you're traveling. Not everything is going to go perfectly. Things will take longer than you think. Things will be a little weird here and there. You'll be scared here and there. You'll be tired and exhausted here and there. There'll be road construction. There'll be slow traffic or fast traffic, or some kind of traffic that makes life a little tough. There'll be local things going on that you aren't aware of, that you feel foolish for not knowing. But overall, it's all these experiences piled on top of each other every day. So every day of this trip, I've been doing multiple things that make me happy, and I think I want to continue to do that. I mean, I think the beauty of a trip is you learn that you can stack all kinds of good in a short time frame. You don't have to wait months or years for good things. You can do them all today. You can spend all day doing this good, and all day tomorrow, and the next, right? And you give meaning to all these experiences. So yeah, it's been the traveling. Those are, I think, very good tips for a traveling man. You're going to remember these trips as you age. You may need to call upon these out of your memory bank, you know, on your end days when times are tough and you're on your way out. You want to say, yeah, I traveled, I did it myself. I had a blast. It was cool as heck, a lot of fun, and yeah, I would highly encourage you to try to travel by yourself when you can. It's really great. I think I'm going to sign off for now. I've been talking a while, so talk to you later.